to include tracking of source reduction and recycling practices for each of the reported chemicals, and collects information on effective source reduction practices by those entities. So we all know that preventing pollution in the first instance is much more effective and efficient than setting limits for its release to air, land, and water, or treating it to reduce risk. And that's the pollution prevention hierarchy that you're all familiar with. In the 25 years since the P2 Act was enacted and the program was put in place at the federal level, businesses across the country have been able to reduce 6 billion pounds of hazardous materials, conserve 75 billion gallons of water, and reduced 38 million metric tons of carbon dioxide equivalent. And along the way, they've saved over $6 billion. Since the start of EPA's P2 program in the early 90s, the Illinois Sustainable Technology Center has been one of our most effective and innovative partners in this effort. Since 1993, ISTC and EPA have supported the Great Lakes Pollution Prevention Roundtable to promote and share the best P2 approaches among the technical assistance providers in the Midwest, including Illinois, but beyond that, the other states here in the Midwest. The ISTC itself has served as a model for other state programs. ISTC's program, the Illinois Conservation of Resources and Energy, or ICOR, has leveraged both state and EPA funds to work with municipal water and wastewater treatment plants, as well as local commercial and industrial facilities, to conserve water, reduce the use of hazardous materials, and reduce greenhouse gas emissions and facilities costs, along with solid waste. The statistics on this slide represent efforts from 2008 through 2014 and show just how effective this work has been. The ISTC has also been our regional leader in pursuing E3 relationships, and that's the Economy, Energy, and Environment Program, which seeks to combine the efforts and resources of 6 federal agencies and multiple state partners at the local level to assess facilities for energy conservation, lean or approved time and efficiency practices, and pollution prevention opportunities. Those are the 3 core assessments in the E3 program. The 6 agencies are EPA, Department of Energy, Commerce, and that's the NIST MEP program, the Small Business Administration, Labor, and USDA. It's a more recent partner. ISTC has been awarded 2 EPA Region 5 grants to provide EPA support, E3 support at multiple facilities in Illinois in partnership with the Illinois Manufacturing Extension Center. So these statistics show the results of this project from Illinois facilities that have improved manufacturing efficiency through implementing the E3 assessment recommendations. They've conserved over 2,500,000 kilowatts of electricity, 58,000 therms of natural gas, almost 1 million gallons of water, and reduced 2,600 metric tons of carbon dioxide equivalents in terms of greenhouse gases. These companies have saved money and retained and gained jobs. So I think this is a great example of how a green environment also supports a healthy economy. ISTC's Intern Program is a partnership with the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency and partially supported by a P2 grant from EPA, recruited upper-level university students to work on pollution prevention projects during the summer of 2014, placing interns in central and southern Illinois manufacturing facilities. And the results, and you can see it on the side chart, are very impressive for a summer's worth of intern work. The example that I like to show is this, the mutual benefit that resulted from the intern program. This is Madeline Turk, a civil and environmental engineering student here at U of I, who worked with Pinnacle Foods in St. Elmo, Illinois. Pinnacle produces Mrs. Butterworth syrup, log cabin syrup, open pit barbecue sauce, and wishbone salad dressing, along with other brands. Madeline worked on pollution prevention projects that gave her valuable experience as well as benefited the company. Another joint effort with ISTC is the Great Lakes Regional Pollution Prevention Roundtable, which I mentioned. We've been working with them for the last 22 years. as a collaborative effort, and the purpose is really to provide access to information and collaboration to support P2 technical assistance providers across the region, and coordinates the monthly P2 impact column on greenbiz.com in cooperation with centers around the country. Laura Barnes, are you here? Raise your hand. There's Laura. Does a great job in that program. I'd like to shift now to the national P2 program, which is aligned to reflect administration priorities. Gina McCarthy, who is our EPA administrator, has set out 4 priorities for EPA: making a visible difference in communities, addressing climate change and improving air quality, and supporting strong partnerships at the state, tribal, and local level, as well as to improve the agency's effectiveness as an organization. For us in the P2 program, this has really meant focusing our program in some areas that we can measure and track successes. So we've decided to identify 3 national emphasis areas, and I'm not sure you can read those, but I'm going to go over them briefly in a minute. They're climate change, food manufacturing, and reducing hazardous materials at the state and community level. So the first national emphasis area is climate change mitigation, that emphasizes P2 projects that achieve significant measurable greenhouse gas emissions reductions and energy efficiency through technical assistance to businesses. As you heard earlier, the President's Climate Action Plan is a strong driver here, and it's leading to international action with EPA in a significant role. In Region 5, our efforts will continue to focus on energy, materials, and water efficiencies that can be converted to greenhouse gas emissions equivalents for tracking purposes. The second national emphasis area is focusing on the food manufacturing sector for P2 solutions across the board in water conservation, green chemistry, technology improvements that support sustainable food manufacturing. This includes efforts like the E3 assessments I mentioned earlier that look at the entire supply chain, considering how manufacturers can exchange information with each other and implement and measure results. The third national emphasis area is focused on implementing activities at the state or local level that result in reduced generation and use of hazardous substances, pollutants, or contaminants. We're working with the TRI database to identify opportunities in target sectors and businesses and promoting greener product formulation. EPA has had a longstanding label program designed for the environment, which is transitioning to the label Safer Choice that will also serve to help consumers, businesses, and institutional buyers identify cleaning and other products that perform well, are cost-effective, and safer for the environment. Excuse me. There are approximately 2,500 label products currently. This program also evaluates human health and environmental impacts associated with traditional and alternative chemicals and processes that have helped hundreds of businesses to select safer chemicals and technologies and reduce the use of chemicals of concern by hundreds of millions of pounds. We look forward to continuing to work with our partners to increase these efforts. So, in closing, I'd like to convey our gratitude for our longstanding and productive relationship with the Illinois Sustainable Technology Center, and we really look forward to continually working together toward a sustainable future that takes economic, social, and environmental considerations into account in all decision making. We believe that the ISTC is really well positioned with the tools, experience, connections, and the innovative spirit to be an essential partner in this effort. Thank you.